Hey everyone, welcome back. Another week. We are Monday, beginning of another week, and welcome to Storytime. We are going to continue with a couple of chapters of Pilgrim's Progress and from our devotion, Indescribable. So settle down, get yourself comfortable, and I will continue with chapter 7. In the wrong path. Little Christian went on toward the village as quickly as he could, but he soon became very tired indeed. His burden seemed to grow heavier every minute, until at last he felt ready to fall down beneath its weight. By the time he reached the hill, he could scarcely walk, and he wondered whether he would ever be able to get to the house in which the friends of Worldly lived. But when he turned the corner of the road that led round the hill, he almost forgot his burden, for he had never before seen anything so terrible as that path. The side of the hill was very rugged, and the rocks hung over the road and were just ready to fall. Little Christian went a little way, but he was soon so frightened that he dare not take another step. He fancied he could see flames of fire darting out between the rocks, and he shook all over with fear. "Oh, I wish I had not come," he sobbed. "What shall I do?" Presently, a man appeared at a little distance, and as he came nearer, Christian saw that it was Evangelist. He had no smile on his face, and poor little Christian felt so ashamed and miserable that he almost wished the rocks would fall and hide him from the sight of the friend whom he had disobeyed. "What are you doing here?" said Evangelist. But little Christian hung his head down low and did not speak. "Are you not the little boy whom I found crying outside the City of Destruction?" "Yes," sobbed Christian. "Did I show you the way to the Wicket-Gate?" "Yes." "Then how is it that you are here? For this is not the way to the gate." "Oh," cried little Christian, "I did not mean to do wrong, but I met a boy who told me I could get rid of my burden in the village, and I was so tired I thought I would come. But I'm sure the hill will fall on me, and I'm so frightened." The evangelist said, "Listen to me. The king sent me to tell you about the celestial city, and you had his promise that he would love you and watch over you. When you fell into the slough, you know he sent help to pull you out, and you have read in your book that he will always take care of those who trust in him. Why did you believe what Worldly said and turn away from the right path?" Poor little Christian was now crying very bitterly, and Evangelist laid his hand gently on the child's head. "You have grieved the king very much," he said, "but if you are sorry, he will forgive you." "I'll never be naughty again," cried little Christian. "I'm very, very sorry indeed. But are you sure that the king will forgive me?" "Yes. The king will always forgive you for the sake of his dear son who loved the little children." And I may go back to the Wicket-Gate, or will the man turn me away?" "The king does not allow him to turn anyone away. You have only to knock, and he will open the gate for you at once. Take my hand, and I will go with you past the hill." Little Christian wiped away his tears and was very glad to put his hand in Evangelist's, and he led Evangelist and be led back into the field. The hill with its terrible overhanging rocks was soon left behind, and the light above the Wicket-Gate could be clearly seen. "If you make haste," said Evangelist, "you will reach the gate before it is dark, and you can stay there and rest until morning." Then, with a kiss and a smile, he told the child goodbye, and little Christian started once more on his journey. Little Christian enters the Wicket-Gate. The sun was just setting when little Christian reached the Wicket-Gate. He had walked very quickly, for he did not wish to be in the fields after the darkness came on, and he was now so tired that he felt very glad indeed to see the gate quite close to him. It stood in a beautiful stone archway, and over it hung a lamp which burned so brightly that its light could be seen even when the sun was shining. Round the top of the arch some words were carved upon the stone, and little Christian stopped to read them. The words were these: "Knock, and it shall be opened unto you." That was just what Evangelist said, thought Christian, as he began to knock upon the door. He listened, but he could not hear anyone coming, so he knocked again. And in a few minutes the door was opened by a man who looked something like Evangelist. He wore the same kind of long robe, and his face was grave and quiet. He smiled when he saw Christian and said, "Who is this little child?" "I am little Christian," replied the boy. "May I come in?" Are you come from the city of destruction?" asked the man, whose name was Goodwill. "Yes, and I wish to go to the king." Then Goodwill opened the gate quite wide and took little Christian by the hand. As he was stepping in, Goodwill gave him a pull. "Why did you do that?" asked Christian. And Goodwill answered, "The wicked prince has a castle very near to this gate, and when he sees anyone leaving his country and entering the way of the king, he commands his soldiers to shoot arrows at him." Little Christian looked out and saw the arrows lying upon the ground, and he felt very pleased to see Goodwill close the door. "Now I am safe," he said. Goodwill led him into his own house, which was just beyond the gate, and made him sit down to rest while he prepared some food for him. "Who told you the way to the gate?" he asked. "Evangelist," replied little Christian, "and he said you would tell me where to go next." "Yes, I will tell you. But how is it that you came alone? Have you no father or mother?" "My mother is with the king, and my father has so much to do that he cannot spare time for a journey, so I was obliged to come by myself." "If your mother is with the king, she must have passed through this gate. No doubt you will hear of her as you go on your way." "Do you think I shall?" said little Christian eagerly, for the greatest wish he had. "Do you think I shall?" said little Christian eagerly, for the greatest wish he had was to know something more of that dear mother whom he had lost so long ago. "Help said that the king would tell her I was coming, and she would look out for me. Is that true?" "Quite true. You will not see her until you reach the celestial city, but she will often be able to see you. Have you come straight from home? Did not the boys try to persuade you to stay with them? Obstinate and Pliable came after me, and Obstinate was angry, but Pliable said he would like to go to the celestial city. Then we fell into the slough, and he was frightened, so he went back again. I thought I should never get out, but help came, and he was very good to me." "And what then?" Little Christian blushed. "I was as bad as Pliable," he said, "for when I met Worldly, I listened to him and turned away towards the village. The road was so dreadful, and I was afraid the rocks would crush me. But Evangelist found me and brought me into the fields again. And now you have entered the king's gate, and you are one of his little pilgrims. Tonight you must sleep here, and tomorrow I will show you the way to the celestial city." So we will find out more tomorrow, just like little Christian. On to our devotion, Indescribable devotion. Let me find the page. Where's my bookmark? There we are. Palming the Pleiades. Can you tie up the stars of the Pleiades? Can you loosen the ropes of the stars in Orion? Can you bring out the stars at the right times? Those questions are from the Bible, the book of Job, chapter 38, verses 31 and 32. What can you hold in the palm of your hand? Can you hold a golf ball, a tennis ball, or a baseball? Some professional basketball players' hands are so big they can hold a basketball. They call it palming the ball. But that's nothing compared to God. He can palm the Pleiades. But what are the Pleiades, you ask? I was asking the same thing, so I'm glad we're going to get the answer. The Pleiades is a star cluster, a group of stars so big and bright that they can be seen from just about anywhere on Earth without binoculars or a telescope. They are more than 443 light years away. That's 2,604 trillion miles. And our God can hold the entire Pleiades in the palm of his hand. In fact, the Bible tells us he can measure the whole universe in just one hand. Do you know what else God holds in his hands? You. God, who is powerful enough to hold the whole universe, also holds you in his hands. And he loves you so much that nothing, no problem, no worry, no bully, no bad day can ever snatch you out of his hand. Oh, the devil will try. He'll throw all kinds of yucky stuff at you, and he'll tempt you to do things you know you shouldn't do. But God is bigger and stronger, and the devil is no match for him. So hang on to God, talk to him, listen to him, and read about him in his word. And remember, God's also holding on to you, and he won't let go. Be amazed. Scientists think 3,000 stars are in the Pleiades star cluster, but without a really powerful telescope, we can only see about 6 or 7 of the brightest ones. In ancient times, sailors used these bright stars to help them navigate their ships through the oceans. That's quite cool, isn't it? Lord, if you can hold the whole universe in the palm of your hand, I know I can trust you to hold on to me. Thank you for holding me in your hands. Let's finish with a prayer. I wonder, my wonky rainbow, I'm probably going to drop it now. What haven't we done for a while? What about, I don't think we've done the, what's that one, the blue, the indigo. Should we do the indigo? I think so. I'll read this, but join me. Oh no, I think we have done that one. What about, I tell you what, I know we haven't. It's, oh goodness, I think so. Oh, we may have done them all. What about the orange one? Okay, sorry. We'll do the orange one. Dear God, please help us to be patient, to wait and listen to you, and to be obedient while we wait for this crisis to end. And God, while we are waiting, still a lot of things are in lockdown. Nothing is normal. Help us to be patient and help us to remember that you are holding us in your hand, that we are safe, that we are loved, and you won't ever let us go. Please help us, as our devotion said, to listen to you, to talk with you, because there's nothing that you can't help us with. There's no problem, no worries, no bully, no bad day that you can't help us with. So God, we thank you for that. And we thank you that we can share this time together. And we do pray for patience as we wait for things to get back to normal. Amen. Well, thank you for joining me again. I look forward to again on Wednesday for some more Pilgrim Progress, and we'll see who else little Christian is going to meet. If you are back in school this week, have a great week. Whatever you're doing, stay safe, be patient, and keep remembering God is with us. God has got you in his hands, and he loves you very, very much. Take care, everyone, and I will see you very soon. Bye!